Rita, you are awesome. You are just so easygoing. Thank you.
Of course.
But this is where this is where an attendee, once they actually click into your booth, this is where they will be able just to see a short elevator pitch of who Ribbon is, what you do, who you are, and get them really excited to meet you. And then from here, the team side is where you will add team members. And so, as you can see, yourself and another team member has been added. I will obviously, Kristen and I will obviously remove anything that's from of us. We just wanted to test out your booth, make sure it's working as it should. And then this is where you can click add team members. And remember, if you want to invite anyone else, you simply go to the invite admins side of things and you put in their email. Remember to click send, and they will be invited to the portal through you.
Oh, gotcha. So should I be doing that instead of, I know I sent over to you guys, everyone that's part of our booth. Is that okay, or should I go into the platform and add them in?
That is totally okay because we actually have, Kristen, correct me if I'm wrong, just different in terms of registration. So your team does need to be registered in Bizzabo, and then Kristen, am I correct? Then Rita, she's already sent us a list of names, and then from there, I'll gather all the names and then be able to send them to you to be able to send to our registration team.
Yeah, and then if you want them, Rita, to be part of your like in your booth, part of your booth access, then we can add them into this team members. So either you could do them yourself or we could do it for you. The only reason why, like, they won't get registered if you just add them in. So I don't know if you want all of your team members to be in on the portal, like have access to the back end portal, or just like select few people.
Yeah, I would like all of them. I mean,
okay.
I don't really mind as much if I don't, just because I mean, I'm more so serving as a speaker than, going to be someone that's like manning the booth.
Right.
But the 5 people in my email, yeah, I would like them all to have access
Okay.
to our sales
Right.
team.
We can just add them. We'll add them in for you because we're already registering them in the system. So that takes like 2 minutes to add them in for you. Then it makes it easier for you. Don't have to worry about that. Okay.
Awesome. So, so I just walked you through your portal, unshared my screen so I can actually get into the back end of your virtual booth. So give me just a moment. And I'm mindful of the time, I promise. So let me see. Okay. Sorry, it's taking forever, of course.
So is there anything that you guys would say, thinking, I guess, from a bandwidth perspective, in terms of like deliverables and what we upload to the booth, is there anything that you guys would say, like, Rita, you really need to do this, but it's not that important if you do this?
We've found that if you have some type of like white paper or like downloadable thing, like PDF or something, that those are really useful for that people do. Like, some people don't want to speak with you in your booth. I mean, obviously, like, encourage that and have like, that kind of thing. I mean, I opened up the front end of your booth. I mean, like, that's all you have right now is that, but maybe even, just something that kind of like draws their eye to coming to speak with you. I know sometimes that they, some of them don't want to have a conversation, they just want to get the quick information and then come back later. So I found, we had a lot of people in our other events that just put in a few like resources for people to, maybe like a list of offerings that you guys do. I mean, your little like snapshot does like give that general, but maybe like a little bit more broken down version of it is helpful. Once we add in your the attendee, your not attendees, your staff to that, you'll see them actually like populate on the bottom of your, like when they go into your booth, they'll see those people. So that's always super helpful. And if you have their like headshots, that also makes it a little bit more personable than just having a blank silhouette of a person. So that might be something that like I would also strive for. Just it kind of showing that like personal touch to make it more, you know, like we're having an
Engaging,
event.
more interactive. Yes.
Yeah.
And I apologize if this is a silly question or you might have answered this already,
No,
but
you can
Oh,
go.
silly question.
Any question?
will people be able to see like so I guess my team's kind of figuring out who's going to be at the booth when. So when people are like clicking around, are they going to be able to see that someone is like directly available at that time? And if none of us are available, how does that work?
So that's actually an amazing question, and I'm going to get into all of that right now. So the timing is impeccable. So here we are in the back end of your virtual booth. So this green teal-ish screen is what we call the presentation stage. So this is what you and your team would see on the back end, but on the front end, and I'll show you that in just a moment, this is where they will be able to see you, and I'll explain how and why. So this portion right here on my left, the camera and the microphone. So this is where you can activate it so that attendees will be able to communicate with your team. So if I were to activate it right now, and
I made it live on your end. So
yay. So this is where you would be able to, if I were, let's say I were in your booth, oh, hey, there's Kristen as a participant. So let's say I am temporarily a part of Ribbon. This is where I would be able to communicate with Kristen, and she is. So the green star means that I'm staff, like I'm staff.
Oh, okay.
And then, as you can see, Kristen does not have the green star, which means that she's a participant. So we're going to walk through participants in just a moment, but that's just to give you just a brief snapshot of how it looks. So please remember to remind your team that they need to turn on their camera, that they need to activate their microphone so that they can communicate with attendees. And yeah, just kind of, as Kristen was saying, keep that interactive experience going. So next we're going to go to the files. And so this is where any files that your team would like to include in their presentation, in their virtual booth, they are free and happy to do so. I always say that this virtual booth is your oyster. You can do as you please. So if you would like to add a PowerPoint, if you would like to add a video, with videos, the platform does not take anything larger than 100 MB. If you would like to do that, if you would like to add a picture, if you would like to add videos, all of that, you are free to do that by simply just clicking add file, whatever file comes up, and then you simply, once the file uploads, then you simply either click add to playlist or play, and it will be in your playlist or in your presentation slide.
And
next,
April,
we're going to go. Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say when we're done, we can show her the front end as well, just quickly to see like what you can add to the front end too.
Right, absolutely.
How are you doing that? Okay. Okay. Perfect. Sorry, I'm just jumping ahead. Okay.
No, that's okay. That's okay. Next, we have the whiteboard. So this is one of my favorite features of this app. Like, you could just unleash your inner artist, whatever you would like to draw or add. You could do colors. You can literally do whatever you please. And then if you want to get rid of it, you simply click clear this board, and that's it. And then you're done. Next, we have the desktop share. So if you would like to share a YouTube video, in the same way that I'm sharing my screen with you, your team can also do that with attendees. You also have the, let me stop desktop sharing. You also have quizzes. So this is a super fun feature. Your team would simply click the plus sign, enter the question, what day is it today? Or whatever question your team decides. Pray to God someone knows the day. Today's October 21st, a Thursday. And so you could put the questions, you can do multiple choice, you can have multiple answers, open question, whatever you decide to keep your attendees engaged and interacting with your team. We next have the video library where you can upload any videos to your virtual booth. We have the option to record If your team would like to record the session, the only thing to keep in mind is that it takes about 3 minutes for the recording to take place. So bear with Bizzabo with that, but after the 3 minutes, you're good to go. And then finally, the breakout session. So this is where if a list of participants or attendees were here, so as you can see, Kristen is here right now, and something that we recommend that our sponsors and exhibitors do in the breakout rooms. So if, let's say, for example, Kristen wants to talk about, I don't know, I'm just going to make up something random. She wants to talk about the letter B. And you know that someone on your team in room 2 is talking about the letter B and everything that begins with the letter B, then you could just drag and drop Kristen into room 2. So we just recommend having a salesperson in each room to talk about a specific thing that your company does. And we also recommend having someone stay in this portion right here in the presentation stage. So let's say I wander in and I say, you know what, I want to talk about such and such. And you know that someone in room number 3 is talking about such and such, the exact thing that I mentioned. You can drag and drop my name in the same way that I moved Kristen. You can drag and drop that person to the room, the specific room with the salesperson that is talking about exactly what they want to hear. So I think that this is an awesome feature and really cool. So I just want to, I know we have a few more minutes. Do you have any questions, Rita, about anything I've just said?
I just want to make sure I understand. So if I present something on, I think you refer to this as like the main stage or something. That means that like anyone who clicks on my booth is going to see what I'm presenting. It's not going to be like a one-on-one conversation, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, cool.
Only if they get broken into a breakout room, then it's only those people who are in that room.
Got it. But if I like, for example, how you showed me that, you know, a participant entered and then you could potentially start a video call with them.
Right.
That would be private, or would that be like, you know, anyone that kind of jumps in would be able to join that conversation?
So if you're having it right there in that main area and not putting them into breakout rooms, then anyone who enters your booth can see what's going on.
Got it.
But I think of it as like if you're in the middle of your booth and someone's having a conversation right in the front of it, but then you break them out and put them to like a side table. That's when no one really can see. I know that's a weird analogy, but that's how I've been like telling people, like basically like you like walk into what's happening in there in your booth. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome.
But one of the things to, I was just going to say, one of the things to do is if like no one's there or staffed, or, you know, you don't want to be on camera the whole time, you can like April showed with like the files, you could put up a slide that says like, you know, we'll be back soon, or hold on a moment, someone will be with you shortly. We've had some sponsors do that, or exhibitors, with like, you know, branded with their stuff on, you know, like something that says ribbon and we'll be back, you know, hold on 1 minute or something like that, so that, and even putting like an email address, like if you're unable to wait, or, you know, you're not there, please contact so-and-so to get more information, because that also helps generate leads with people. If someone, you know, doesn't have time to wait for you, or they go in not during the networking specific times and you guys are just not there because you're looking at a session or you're doing something else.
You have to walk the dog, you have to go to the bathroom, whatever it is.
Exactly.
Virtual exhaustion is real. And so that's actually, I'm actually going to jump in. Kristen, thank you. And I'll go back to the chat in a second. But this is where once you have all of the files that you've included via, you know, the adding files portion, this is where, as Kristen was saying, you can put the holding slide and it will say, hey, we're not here at the moment, but feel free to contact us at such and such email or the number. And that way, if an attendee walks in, they're not left stranded, if we could put it that way, but they know, okay, so they're not here at the moment, but I can contact them for more information. Next, we have the chat feature. And so this is where if I were manning your virtual booth, we are here in your virtual booth right now. This is where I can communicate with attendees and attendees can communicate with me. So if I just say something, for example, as simple as this is a hi, anyone that's on the front end of your virtual booth will be able to see Kristen is here as a participant. And so she and I can communicate with me being on the back end and with her being an attendee on the front end of your virtual booth. We next have the Q&A feature where for example, if an attendee is a bit shy, they don't want to ask a question in the room chat feature, they don't want everyone to see their question, they can just see Kristen is here now, and this is only something that I can see, or whoever's in your virtual booth, only they can see the question that's here in the Q&A portion. And then finally, we have the moderator chat where you and your team, or if your team, if they want to communicate with each other and say, hey, you know what, this attendee is here right now and they mentioned such and such. We just worked on this 2 months ago, so let's talk about this now. Only your team members would be able to communicate here in the moderator chat. Okay. Then next we have the participants. As I mentioned to you before, this is where your team will be able to see a list of all of the participants that are currently in your virtual booth with you. And as I mentioned, the green star means that whoever is the green star means that they're staff. As you can see, a similar star here, just to show a moderator or speaker. And then finally, we have the notes portion. So if I were to write this and typed in broadcast note, Kristen, who was on the front end, would be able to see this message. But if this is something that you want to keep between the team, you don't have to click broadcast note, but whoever is in your virtual booth will see this note saved, and they can add to it. It's another way to communicate with each other. But again, in the event that someone on your team wants to broadcast the note so that it's obvious to whoever's on the front end, they simply click broadcast note and it's available for an attendee to see. So that is the back end. So are there any questions before we quickly jump over to the front end?
No, I think that was a really good explanation.
Awesome, I'm so glad, yay. So I'm going to unshare my screen from here. Kristen, would you be able to take us to the front?
Yeah, I have it open already, and I'm gonna actually show you how the speakers, like how they get into it. Let me just share.
Oh, sorry about that.
I did, no, don't worry about it. There's like, all right, so you guys can see my screen?
Yep.
All right, so this is what the, when everyone logs in, they'll see this as their, the homepage. And then there's the agenda here, which is where you'll see all the different sessions being broadcast, a list of speakers, and then there's the virtual hall. And when they click on this, the attendee, they'll see the sponsored and they'll see your logo right here. And they can click on your logo. They'll see, you know, a little screenshot again, like April said, of, you know, the company. And then here it says visit ribbon. And when they click on this, a new tab opens. And that's actually directed now to your virtual booth.
Got it.
So you can actually, I know April has sent you the specifications on these, but you can see the, you can brand this green background with any information. All your like speakers would be below here, as well as if you had any other resources, like collateral. Right, it would also be down here as well. And I was going to pull up an example just to show you from one of our other events, but basically you see the same chat features. They can also use their microphone and camera to go live with you and have a discussion on the camera with, you know, your team. And they can also raise their hand if they have a question and you're not answering it. But then on this green broadcast screen, like April was saying, you could, you know, have one of your staff members on there on video like April showed, or have a slide that says, you know, welcome to the ribbon booth. A person will be with you momentarily. You know, if you have any questions and you can't wait or something, please reach out to so-and-so at this email address or something like that. The other, I'm just gonna show the other example. If you have any questions, let me know. I just wanna see if I can show one from one of our other events real quick.
Do you want to make sure I get this one question answered, because it's
Go
'cause
for
I'm
it.
not quite sure. So I'm going to be recording our session tomorrow on Zoom, I believe, with our
Okay.
guest speaker. And where would I
Okay.
upload that?
You can upload that either to send it to me,
Okay.
or I did send, and I don't know if it's on there, her a link to a it's called Jotform link to like upload the presentation. But it's always just easier. It's probably just easier just to send it to me directly.
Okay.
That's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I do have my email, so you should be fine.
Yeah.
I just wanted to show you what people did because I think my good example. I could be terrible. Who knows? So as you see, like they have these different things here, and if you click on it and hit visit, I hope this person has stuff on the back end. Okay, so here, for example, obviously this is a food event, so totally different, but they have their beef because they're Angus beef, but you could have some kind of ribbon, logo or branding on this as a static image, and then it would get scrolled over, and then you can see here, these are all the people that are staffing the booth. So all of your staff can be here, and you can send me their headshots, so it looks more better than just an outline of a person. And then they have a little, information more about them, which you can give April, as well as their attachments. And then here they have these different attachments that then open up to other PDFs that they have as well. So that, this one doesn't work apparently. Anyway, so that's just an example of what you could do. Theirs is not like super crazy, but it does have like the attachments there, all their, people that are part of their company that's going to be staffing their booth. This obviously here would be where they're broadcasting that green screen, just because the event isn't live, you can't see that. And then it would have here, this like picture, which theirs is beef, which is not as nice. I'm sorry, I picked the wrong event, the food event. But in general, there would be something, fun. I don't know. Let me see if these people probably don't have anything either. Yeah, like theirs is like a kitchen background. So you could have something like that. I mean, they do a refrigerated chef kitchen. I don't know. But you could have, that logo again. It's the same kind of idea that they're doing. So most of these people have these.
Can I also mention
and
this?
obviously,
Oh, sorry to
Yeah.
interrupt you, Kristen. I was just going to say, if you could actually stay on that page or go to another one, I've noticed something. Yeah, that's perfect. And I love that soda, by the way.
Yeah.
I know. This event is like too cool, and I'm like, sorry, ours is not. Like, it's like I get so hungry every time I look at it.
I know.
But something that I wanted to note up at the very top, if you could go further up, and I think one of the other events had it where it had the product categories as well.
This one didn't, yeah.
Yeah, but that's also something to include because we're adding like a search feature. And so if an attendee walks in and they're like, I want to learn more about whatever, XYZ, and your company does XYZ, they'll be able to find you. But I know that it's 3:30, Rita, so we can absolutely have another session if need be. But I do hope that this was helpful.
This was really helpful. I mean, I think you guys did a good job of getting me up to speed. Like, let me know if you think I'm still missing some valuable information, but it pretty much makes sense to me.
Yay!
Perfect. Yeah. No, that's like it in a nutshell. And since it's pretty user friendly and stuff, I mean, it's really just once you give us those like assets to put on your booth, the more obviously I think the more that you make it a little bit more like personal, not personable, but like ribbon-esque with like a logo like I just showed you and having the headshots of your, people that are in your booth and maybe a few like resources. Those to me, I think are your key things. Like you really don't need to go super crazy with that. But then them actually staffing the booth is super easy and we could get them, the portal access. And if, they have questions, obviously, April and myself will be able to help you guys, day of next week as well. So that's not a problem. Yeah.
All right. Looking forward to it.
No problem.
All right. Thanks so much for your time today, ladies.
Thanks. And if you have any questions, reach out to us. We're here to help you guys.
We're here to help. Yep.
Thanks,
Right.
guys.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.